Chemasya sadriyag bimreshu hetuhu asanga atma vyatiriktatmani dridharatir brahmani nirgune chaya Sastresva ihaneva sunishchito nrinam Chemasya sadriyag bimrise suhetuhu Asangatma vyatiriktatmani Dridharatir brahmani nirgune chaya Sastresva iyan eva sunishchito nrinam Chemasya sadriyag bimrise suhetuhu Asangatma vyatirikta atmani Dridharatir brahmani nirgune chaya Sastre Soyan eva sunishchito nrinam Chemasya sadriyag bimrise suhetuhu Asangatma vyatirikta atmani Word-to-word translation. Sastresu, in the scriptures, Iyan eva, this is only, Sunishchitaha, positively concluded, Nirnam, of human society, Chemasya, of the ultimate welfare, Sadriyak, perfectly, Bimrisesu, by full consideration, Hetuhu, cause, Asangaha, detachment, Atma Vyatirikte, the bodily concept of life, Atmani, unto the Supreme Soul, Dridha, strong, Ratihi, attachment, Brahmani, transcendence, nirgune, in the Supreme, who is beyond the material modes, cha and ya, which. Translation and purport by Srila Prabhupada, Jagat Guru Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Translation. It has been conclusively decided in the scriptures, after due consideration, that the ultimate goal for the welfare of human society is detachment from the bodily concept of life, and increased and steadfast attachment for the Supreme Lord, who is transcendental, beyond the modes of material nature. Purport by Srila Prabhupada. Everyone in human society is engaged for the ultimate benefit of life, but persons who are in the bodily concept cannot achieve the ultimate goal, nor can they understand what it is. The ultimate goal of life is described in Bhagavad Gita 2.59. From param drishtva nivartate. When one finds out the supreme goal of life, he naturally becomes detached from the bodily concept. Here, in this verse, the indication is that one has to steadfastly increase attachment for the transcendence Brahmani, as confirmed in the Vedanta Sutra 1.1.1, Athato Brahma Jigyasa. Without inquiry about the supreme or the transcendence, one cannot give up attachment for this material world. By the evolutionary process in 8.4 million species of life, one cannot understand the ultimate goal of life, because in all those species of life, the bodily conception is very prominent. Athato Brahma Jigyasa means that in order to get out of the bodily conception, one has to increase attachment to or inquiry about Brahman. Then he can be situated in the transcendental devotional service, Shravanam Kirtanam Vishnu. To increase the attachment for Brahman means to engage in devotional service. Those who are attached to the impersonal form of Brahman cannot remain attached for very long. Impersonalists, after rejecting this world as mithya or false Jagan Mithya, come down again to this Jagan Mithya, although they take sannyasa to increase their attachment for Brahman. Similarly, many yogis who are attached to localized aspect of Brahman as Paramatma, great sages like Vishwamitra, also fall down as victims of women. Therefore, increased attachment for the Supreme Personality of Godhead is advised in all Shastras. That is the only way of detachment from material existence, and is explained in Bhagavad Gita 2.59 as Param Drishtva Nivartate. One can increase material activities when he actually has the taste for one can cease material activities when he actually has the taste for devotional service. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu also recommended love of Godhead as the ultimate goal of life, prema pum artho mahan. Without increasing love of Godhead, one cannot achieve the perfectional stage of transcendental position. Let's do Mangalacharan. Om Agyanam Timirandasya Gyananjana Salakaya Chachur Anmilitam Ena Tasmai Sri Gurave Namaha. Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Sri Advaita Gadadhara Shivas Adi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda. Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. Hare Krishna. I will just read the translation once more. It has been conclusively decided in the scriptures, after due consideration, that the ultimate goal for the human welfare, of the human society is detachment from the bodily concept of life, and increased steadfast attachment for the Supreme Lord, who is transcendental, beyond the modes of material nature. Srila Prabhupada, in the purport, he clearly explains step by step how to get detached from this material world, as mentioned by Prithu Maharaj. In this verse, he is saying that the conclusion of all scriptures is ultimate, and the conclusion of the scriptures, and that is the ultimate welfare of the human society, and that is detachment from the bodily concept of life, me and mine. And increased steadfastment, increased steadfast attachment for the Supreme Lord is the bodily concept. When you get rid of bodily concept, then you get steadfast attachment for the Supreme Lord, and that is the ultimate goal of the human life. Prabhupada, in the purport, he describes it in details, how we can go step by step until we achieve attachment for the Supreme Lord. So he started with saying that we cannot achieve param drishtva nivartate, we cannot achieve a taste for ultimate for devotional service unless we lose taste for material life, or rather we cannot achieve we cannot achieve detachment from material life until we achieve a taste for devotional service. So this Krishna conscious movement, as given by Prabhupada, as previously given by Rupa Goswami, he gave 64 activities that we perform as Vaishnavas, so that we get absorbed in devotional service, and that makes us to transcend this material concept of life, and we get taste for devotional service. Then param drishtva nivartate, then we achieve we come to the stage of param drishtva nivartate. Visaya vinivartate niraharasya deina rasvavarjam rasvapi asya param drishtva nivartate. We have the taste for material things, the taste we have for material things. Even if we restrict for some time, they are still inside us, and they don't go very easily. But when we have the taste for param drishtva nivartate, when we go beyond the material thing and we take devotional service, then slowly and gradually we forget about our material taste. That is explained by Prabhupada here. And he says that is the way to get detached. Detachment comes from devotional service. And for devotional service, now he goes if one wants to get detached from material life, he says first param drishtva nivartate, that is to be achieved. And now he is giving another step. Another step is to achieve param drishtva nivartate, one has to get devotional service, and to get devotional service, you have to come to the stage of athato brahma jigyasa. Prabhupada says. So that means we need to have some inquisition about Brahma. And in this one, Prabhupada talks about one cannot give up attachment for material world unless one gets the inquiry about the Supreme Lord. And by the evolutionary process in 8.4 million species, one cannot understand the ultimate goal of life, because in all these species of life, the bodily conception is very prominent. In those species, in 8.4 million species, the constitutional position of those species, Their daily activities are based on four activities, right? What are the four activities they continuously engage in? Yeah, eating, sleeping, mating, and defending. So until we change something, we don't get new thing, right? Like even in material thing, basic concept. Like we cannot get orange by sowing the seed of apple. Like that, if we continuously perform these four activities, eating, sleeping, mating, and defending, we cannot get rid of the material attachments. Continuous engagement in material desire, fulfilling material desire, only leads us to burn our senses, burn out our senses, and we will continue to have more desires. Prabhupada also gives the example on trying to achieve the perfection of material sense gratification. It is like adding ghee in fire, or or petrol, we can say, So basically petrol is liquid, or ghee also, if melted, it's liquid, in the liquid form. Basic concept is if we pour some liquid, it is very easy to think that we get rid of fire, unless you know the reaction of ghee with fire. Basic concept is that the liquid will just extinguish the fire, right? That is the basic concept. In the same way, when we have desire, we feel like oh, if I fulfill this desire, I will get rid of it, right? But the thing is, when you put ghee on the fire, it looks like it is extinguishing actually. If you have tried that before, I've seen in yogis actually, they put lots of ghee, right? And it looks like, oh, it's gonna go, it's gonna extinguish, almost there. And then slowly it starts burning, and actually it burns more and more, further and further. And the material desire is also similar. So, Atato Brahma Jigyasa, when we have Brahma Jigyasa, then we will have the desire to transcend these four activities. Prabhupada says, even of the human being, actually our constitutional position, unless as a soul, but as a human being as well, our constitutional position is non-different as from animals. Our body also actually, on the bodily concept, it was to enjoy our body only. But as long as we enjoy this body, we don't get out of this cycle. So Prabhupada says, as a soul, if we see as a soul, our constitutional position is to serve the Lord continuously. So to go towards that purpose, we need to get rid of the body, and that is possible only in human life. So Prabhupada is mentioning that, being in the evolutionary process of 8.4 million species, one cannot understand the ultimate goal of life. One cannot understand means, if one understands Krishna, if one can understand the goal of life and starts working on that path, definitely he will get rid of this material body, and he will practice continuously to get rid of these material attachments, and he will transcend this material world. So, and here Prabhupada, again from Atata Brahma Jigyasa, he goes towards the devotional service. Then, after having the inquiry, one can situate oneself in the transcendental devotional service, Sravanam Kirtanam Vishnu. Okay, Prabhupada is actually giving very step-by-step instruction to the one who wants to get rid of material world. Not even Brahma Jigyasa. Brahma Jigyasa only comes out normally unless one is given that Jigyasa due to association from others. One can get Brahma Jigyasa, one can come to that platform by being born out from this material world. Trying to fulfill the desire and getting born out. And then one tries to understand how to get rid of this material world. Right? And then when one tries to understand that, then one comes to the platform of asking about Brahman. How it is created and who is the creator. And Athato Brahma Jigyasa. When one has Athato Brahma Jigyasa, and now Prabhupada says how to go towards devotional service. Sravanam Kirtanam Vishnu. What is that? Simply like devotional service, it cannot be explained to a new person. But Prabhupada here clearly explains Sravanam Kirtanam Vishnu. Sing and hear about Vishnu. When you are completely new, what do? I remember my first day, I was sitting down there and I was attending the class of Tusan Krishna Prabhu. First day was speaking. Hearing. Shravanam. And I heard about Vishnu that day. And especially I liked his kirtan actually. I had long hair, right? True. I had very long hair. And actually I remember I came after night shift and I was sleepy and hardly awake, sitting down there, and Tusan Krishna Prabhu was singing the kirtan. I liked the tune, kirtan tune. That was my second day hearing Hare Krishna Maha Mantra. Someone singing as kirtan. I didn't even know that was kirtan. And I liked the tune. And because I liked the tune of kirtan, I also I had the desire to hear from him. And generally, Tusan Krishna Prabhu is very enthusiastic speaker as well. And the way he presented, I liked. And then I had attraction to Srimad Bhagavatam as well. I remember when he said, in few days I understood that the verse is written in the board, and I started, even following from there. But very hardly studying, reading out the Roman transliteration. That's how we say Roman. In Roman, the way they write, like Shastresu, we can simply read as Shastresu, right? We don't know exactly how to pronounce, right? And I used to read like that, and still everyone, continued with me without, saying you are wrong. They just continue correctly. And then in the second time I chant, I remember they corrected me here, and then I just continue like that. And best thing I liked about ISKCON is, in ISKCON we are accepted as we are. And all the good qualities of us are appreciated, and all the bad qualities, they are ignored at first. And slowly, seeing the advanced devotees, the neophyte starts gradually trying to develop those qualities and get advanced. Very rarely, it's very rare for one to get pointed out for his negative qualities, unless that is directly disturbing towards Vaishnavas or directly offending Lord Radha Gopinath. I remember I was offering obeisances, and I was asked to offer obeisances on the other way. That means we are corrected as well, but unless we are offending someone, we are not corrected. We are shown how to be done, how to do. So basically in ISKCON, one is not allowed to do some, what do you say? Show off. I forgot the word. What do we call the person who just show off, who tries to imitate? Sahajiya, right? Sorry, I forgot Sahajiya. Sahajiyas are not accepted in ISKCON. Srila Prabhupada himself, I see sometimes devotees, trying to imitate, hearing the pastimes, and then hearing the pastime, they have known some pastimes, right? And sometimes I have heard devotees saying deities moving, playing, singing, all this nonsense. Prabhupada never accepted. Prabhupada himself, he is a Nitya Siddha, right? And he came from spiritual world by himself. Do you think he lived a life like us? He never said what Leelas he saw with his eyes. He never concocted that to us. He never presented that to us. In ISKCON, we are not allowed to talk sentimentally. And Prabhupada's mood is to preach. And if it doesn't help someone else, we don't speak those things. What does one have to do with yourself seeing different deities in front of you? There is Radha Gopinath, there is Narsimhadev, there is Gauranitai. Why do you need to see different deities just to tell others? And actually, I remember in my beginning stage, every advanced qualities of others, you feel like I am lower. And if someone says like, I see lila and all when I chant, or when I, take darshan of deities, or when I chant, I get lila smaran, I chant very perfectly. When one says like that, the devotee who is progressing, he will feel like I am very far away from them. But still, like main thing is that is okay if you are in that stage. But in this material world, even our Maharaj, sannyasis, they always say we still get disturbed, and we go one by one. It's every mantra, like when we chant, they say they guide us, saying like focus in one mantra, and then say one more, and then in that way you can increase your stamina, like that. And someone randomly comes to the Vyasasana and starts explaining his activities, then that keeps so much misleading information, and it actually misleads other. And Prabhupada never accepted such things. Actually, if we hear about Prabhupada, some people may say like Prabhupada said like Brahma came, and Brahma is sitting here in the Vyasasana, please bring. And Prabhupada actually did with those such thing with his very intimate disciples, not like in open public, because that can lead us to the ninth. I think that is the offense number 9 to the holy name, to instruct a faithless person about the glories of the holy name. One, like someone from random person from the street is coming and saying like, Krishna is here, can you see? What is that? It is not acceptable. And we have that tendency to show off, or sometimes even the main thing is with these material qualities and without understanding these basics, we definitely don't go to that stage. If we see like in ISKCON, we don't accept. Lord Buddha, like Lord Vishnu himself came as Buddha, and we don't accept him as the Lord. Even the incarnation of Lord, when he doesn't accept the principles, basic principles, we don't accept the Supreme Lord himself. What to talk about the random Sahajiyas, presenting themselves to be highly elevated. So yeah, there is no point for us to show off the things, and let us simply follow Prabhupada. And if we want to guide us, lead others, if we want to lead others or guide others, then we try to become Acharya. Acharya doesn't mean like, with the name Acharya, I will be ISKCON Acharya, not like that. Acharya means the one who performs, so teaches others by activities. Yat yat acharati shreshtas tat tat evataro janaha sa yat pramanam kurute lokas tad anuvartate. So like only when one shows by their activities, one will follow. Do you think like someone will believe this morning Radha Gopinath talked to me and he said this thing to me? Definitely not. Like every day I'm doing some neophyte activities, and I'm talking about Radha Gopinath personally dealing with me. Like that is simply nonsense. Even Radha Gopinath is dealing with me, like people will not trust, will not believe. There is no point in saying this. And it is aparad again. Because talking about deity and then someone is not believing. Do you think like the devotees sitting here are atheists? No. That means like we need to show the level of transparency as well. It depends on who the speaker is as well, right? Like, do you want to say something, some truth that no one will accept, no one will believe? No. Why don't you go to a random place in the street and give Bhagavatam class? Because no one will accept it. That is the thing. But still, since the mood of Prabhupada, as started by Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, our mission is to preach. Actually, even Chaitanya Mahaprabhu did not preach like that. It is Nityananda Prabhu, mood of Nityananda Prabhu to give Mahaprabhu to everyone. So we are doing like that, but still the devotees, like they don't normally go to the street and start preaching very randomly, because they won't trust. So yeah, basically the conclusion is that I fall at the feet of those Vaishnavas who are giving such informations, but still that may be misleading. Please let us be more loyal to Prabhupada and continue serving him as he wanted. He will be more happy simply hearing his translations and purport explained. And Prabhupada said he has given everything enough to deliver the whole world, and we don't have anything more to do. So let's try to be limited to what Prabhupada gave. And still, it's not limited actually, it is unlimited. Prabhupada has given unlimited. If we try to distort things, then we will fall to the limitations. Actually, fall down doesn't mean falling down from the regulative principles. Falling down actually means not being. Also means not actually means. It also means not being able to follow as we are instructed to, and not having the desire to follow as well. Sometimes we don't become able to follow some things, but we can have desire to follow, and that comes with sincerity. By meditating on the activities of the Acharya, we can get the sincerity to follow as they say. And Prabhupada, not only he says after Athato Brahma Jigyasa, one should perform Shravanam Kirtanam and 9 stages of devotional service. Shravanam Kirtanam, Vishnu Smaranam, Pada Sevanam, Archanam Bandhanam, Dashyam, Atmanivedanam. Sakhyam Atmanivedanam. Yeah. So these are the stages as given by Prabhupada to us, and initially I think this was also given by Rupa Goswami, right? These 9 stages. I think it was written by Rupa Goswami. And Prabhupada, beyond this, and he also says what doesn't work. This is how it works to achieve devotional service. Now Prabhupada also says what doesn't work. He is talking about impersonalists, Mayavadis. Impersonalists, they are transcendentalists. See, we can understand from transcendentalists like Mayavadis, transcendentalists, who has Athato Brahma Jigyasa, but they are not following Shravanam Kirtanam Vishnu. They make their own philosophy. See, simply, actually, being a Sahajya is another form of being an impersonalist. Sahajya is non-different from impersonalist. If one believes that Lord is person, then he will understand that the position he or she is in, is also personal. And being a Sahajya means trying to be someone else that you are not. So that means impersonal. Simply concocting, yourself to be someone else that is Mayavad as well. That is wrong. Illusion. Complete illusion. Sahajya means the one who is in illusion only. And simply coming to the ISKCON and sitting down one does not become a personalist. Time and again, actually, I feel sometimes, myself to be impersonalist. Sometimes, not being able to follow. When I see deities, I offer obeisances, and sometimes, without even praying, I go away. And at that time, I feel like I am an impersonalist. Because, let's say, we cannot worship deities, and if we are in front of parents, somehow or other we landed in front of parent. We pay obeisances and stand up and run away. What is that? That is actually ignoring the presence of parents, right? So that is impersonalism. Simply sitting down here and reading Bhagavatam, that doesn't make us personalists. Actually, Prabhupada has given us the whole process, and simply trying to achieve whatever Prabhupada gives makes us sincere, and makes us takes us towards personalism, definitely, and gives us bhakti. But just thinking whatever I have done is enough, and I have done good amount simply for being in ISKCON for quite long. So I will just practice by my own whims, in that case we will simply become impersonalist. You want to simply think like, I am enough, I don't need guidance. That is also impersonalism, because there is a presence of guru, there is a presence of mentors, individual shiksha gurus, diksha gurus, and we are not ready to follow. That means we are impersonalist. Very simple Quran, very simple thing this is, but still we don't meditate on it very much, and but it is a normal thing to us as well, because we have imperfect four imperfections. What are the four imperfections that we have as a human being? Four imperfections. Four imperfections. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Tendency to make mistakes. Mm-hmm. Tendency to make mistakes. Yeah. So we have these four propensities. We have to see. That's why we need to accept. The only thing is we need to accept we have these four imperfections. Being a Sahajya, it is easy to be very easily fall into prey of that tendency, because we have four tendencies, being illusioned, and very easy to make mistake, right? We make mistake, and we have tendency to cheat others very easily, right? So simply representing Prabhupada, being in Vasasan, my appeal is just to accept our imperfections, and try not to show to others, at least. Sahajyapan actually is just getting into the prey of these four imperfections. It's not anything more than that. Because illusion, let's say one thinks himself to be very advanced devotee, that is illusion. That's why he's acting like that, right? So you are in illusion. So simply by following what Prabhupada has given us, we can slowly lift ourselves from that stage. So we don't need to necessarily show that imperfection to others. And even if we show, we need to accept. Actually, we don't say we don't promise and start sitting more and more. Now, when we realize it is our mistake, actually being in bhakti, at least we need to accept this thing. Even actually I can see these things are very prominent even in the karmis, especially in the Western world. They are very good at admitting their mistakes. Very easily, they say, I was wrong. But in the Eastern world, we don't easily accept. We don't easily accept. And being in bhakti, we need to start from this point of accepting our imperfections. Not that promising. I have seen Radha Gopinath here. Unless it was given by authority and I had heard before, I cannot say this is Radha Gopinath. Even if I say and someone says, oh no, this is not Radha Gopinath, this is Radha Madhav, I have to accept that. Or I don't need to take as authority, but still I need to consider my own whims as well. Is it clear? If someone says something else and I'm saying something else, right? So it doesn't mean I need to completely accept that person, but I should not also accept my own whims as well. Because we have four imperfections, right? So maybe I am also in illusion. I know that person should be in illusion, but it still I also may be in illusion. Unless someone gives by authority, we don't accept. If we take this, then easily we will develop Vaishnava qualities like humility as well. Because actually just accepting these four illusions is humility. Simply, humility means just accepting our imperfections. Nothing much actually, right? But still we have that. Because of those tendencies, we very easily fall prey. And Prabhupada here says, for Mayavadis, they have they already have Athato Brahma Jigyasa, and they say that Jagan Mithya, right? They say Jagan Mithya. That means they reject the material world as Mithya or false. Prabhupada says even after taking sannyas, um, and then they take sannyas and get attached to Brahman, right? Brahman effulgence, and due to inactivity, Prabhupada explains in one purport that Brahman effulgence or Brahma Jyoti. In Brahma Jyoti there is no real activities. There is nothing, no material things, but still there is no spiritual activities. There is just Sat. It is Sat. It is Chid as well. Isn't it, Ed Prabhu? Sat and Chid, right? Brahman. Sat, just Sat, right? Not even Chid, because there is no knowledge of Supreme. So Ananda, there is no Ananda as well. Ananda actually means not getting rid of material pangs. Ananda means actually, let's say there is three axes. One is zero, one is plus, and one is negative. So in material world we have the pangs, that is negative, and zero is the that we get in the Brahma Jyoti, Sunyata, and above that is Ananda. So there is no Ananda aspect in the Brahma Jyoti as well. So basically one gets just frustrated being in Brahma Jyoti, and then they come back again to the material world. That is explained by Prabhupada. So and Prabhupada here says even yogis who have realized Paramatma, and he talks about Vishwamitra in example, and also simply falling victims of women. He says that means Hare Krishna Prabhu. That means one is not realized, completely realized, even when one realized Paramatma. One who has realized Bhagavan and who is completely absorbed in devotional service, he doesn't fall prey to Maya at all. Our example is, do you have an example? Haridas Thakur. He is our Acharya. I can remember about it. Haridas Thakur. Even Maya Devi herself in person could not deal with that. Means he has already conquered illusion completely. So that gives us the conclusion that one who has transcended this material world through devotional service, he has completely conquered these four imperfectness, and then he is eligible to go back to Godhead. And it's like that. And Mayavadis, they have to come back again. What time is it now? Okay. So, and Prabhupada concludes by saying, without increasing love of Godhead, one cannot achieve the perfectional stage of transcendental position. And about devotional service on this one, and the desires, talking about the desires. And let's say one does not have Athato Brahma Jigyasa and does not have the desire to to get devotional service, very strong devotional service. I was reading the other day the pastime of just a second. I was reading the pastime of Kadama Muni. Sorry, I don't have very strong memory to remember the names and vocabularies. It takes me time. Kadama Muni, and he did meditation for 10,000, no, 100,000 years actually. He did meditation for 100,000 years, and then he pleases the Lord. Lord appears in front of him. Then he glorifies Lord, saying, "You have Sankha, Chakra, and Gada." It was not Padma. He saw white lily instead of Padma actually. That is interesting form of the Lord. I don't know exactly like which form it is, but there Prabhupada mentions in translation as one is Shankar, one is Chakra, another is Gada, but another is the white lily. That is his. And then the Lord becomes pleased and then appears, and then in the prayers he says, Lord, one should not have any material desire when one pleases you, or and one should completely engage in your service. But still, I have some material desire that with that with which I can perform some services for you. And actually, his desire was to get a suitable woman for him to get married. And Prabhupada, in the purport, he explains with saying akama shrabakama va muchakama udaradhi, with this words like saying even one doesn't even if one doesn't have any desires, or one has all the material desires, or one has the desire to get liberation, he should worship Lord only. He can if he and by worshipping Lord he can get all his desires fulfilled, even though it is material or spiritual, or one is without any. If one doesn't have any desires, if one is akama, then he starts he starts getting the spiritual desires. And if one is having material desires, slowly one gets faded out with the material world, and then he will fed up with the material world, and then he will start having spiritual desire, purposes like that. And so whatever desires we have, or even if we don't have any Athato Brahma Jigyasa, no Brahma Jigyasa, still we have to worship Supreme Lord. And that is the only way to smoothly live our life. No matter how much you want to, even if you want to enjoy this material world, still you have to enjoy, you have to worship Supreme Lord. That is the conclusion. There is no other way. If we try by ourselves without praying for His mercy, then all the best. We just burn out and we just get frustrated, and we can see that result in the Western worlds mostly, and these days in the Eastern as well. In this country, Australia, or even in USA, they have very high rate of mental illness, and 6% of 6% of mental health disease, mental disease that needs professional help, professional support. Definitely there are many people who are suffering from mental disease, maybe even 50-60%, more than that actually. If you can see, actually that is even more than that. And 6% is actually having professional support. That is a lot actually. 6 people in 100, they are completely crazy. That's a lot, and that is because they don't have religion. Prabhupada says cats and dogs, they don't have religion. If you are human, you should have religion. You should have some particular type of practice. Prabhupada says like that. And so basically even in this purport actually he said even human we got human body. Actually the body is actually just for material sense gratification only, to enjoy material world only. But to get rid of this material world, we have to, that is our constitutional position. Constitutional position is beyond this material world again. So he says, and mostly we hear this human body is to transcend this, is not actually to simply follow these 4 steps in our 4 aspects in our life: eating, sleeping, mating, and defending. Not only this, but actually to transcend this life, because human life is the only form in which we can elevate ourselves towards Krishna consciousness or devotional service, and get rid from the cycle of birth and death. Yeah, so I would like to end here only. Anybody has any questions, please? Mm-hmm. In my opinion, actually, temporary fall down is not actually a fall down. But since Prabhupada has established ISKCON, and we have regulations in ISKCON, one who falls down. Are you talking about the general devotees or very senior? Very senior. About senior devotees, they fall down very temporarily and they elevate themselves back. Like, they don't have any problem. They will go back to spiritual world for elevating themselves. If we have any opinions about them, that is the only us who are in the fallen position, and we will continue to suffer in this material world. There is nothing to do, but still, according as given by Prabhupada, and to save the devotees, to protect devotees from from being misled by such so-called senior devotees, while leading them as authority. So just to protect them from, prevent them from being misled, normally the fall down is announced in ISKCON. That is the only thing. It is announced, and they are not followed. They are not allowed to lead anymore. But still, they can achieve perfection. They are definitely, they are doing it for decades, and they are very senior. They have very highly elevated consciousness, and definitely, being in the material world, we still have these four imperfections. And as soon as we don't perform our services and sadhanas very strictly, then we fall down. Actually, it is very. We need to understand it as very simple things actually, because we don't realize ourselves falling down every day, and we need to understand about them as well. Because simply, I remember I'm here, and as soon as sometimes I go to work, sometimes I even forget I am a devotee. That is also fall down in consciousness. Even if I don't perform in the physical level, even in consciousness, I fall down. I fall down every day. So, so yeah. No comments. Definitely, they are very elevated soul. Hare Krishna. Granthra Srimad Bhagavatam ki jai, Jagat Guru Srila Prabhupada ki jai, Nitai Gaur Premanande.